Welcome to the Streaming Life Through Our Lens podcast. I'm Jake, and I'm a Twitch streamer.
I'm Kelsey, and I'm a wedding photographer. We are high school sweethearts here to chat about being business owners, traveling, and relationships.
And any other topics that feel worth exploring.
Welcome back to Streaming Life Through Our Lens. I almost said it wrong. I almost said Streaming Life Through Your Lens.
It's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words. Hello, I can actually wave at a camera because our last episode actually worked on video. Maybe you watched it on video. I don't know. That's now an option, which is kind of fun.
I looked like a ghost.
Hey.
We're trying new lighting because I was complaining the whole time I was rewatching it. I was like, every time I saw a clip of it, I'm like, I look so disgustingly white.
Well, okay, I did have like a setting on the camera for auto exposure, so the camera was like trying to change the lighting based on what it thought it was supposed to do the whole time. And I turned that off.
Okay.
And I think it was exposing too much. Probably this wall doesn't help. It thinks it's like darker than it actually is.
That makes sense.
So that may help you, but also since they can't see the room we're in, like you are facing a window and I'm facing not any direct source of light. So like naturally, wow, there's a voice crack. Naturally, that
happens to me all the time.
You're
so
getting more direct light than me. But it's not going to be perfect.
It's not going to be perfect, but the comparison was so bad. It was like you looked amazing and bronze and like just somebody who's been on the beach every day their whole life. And I looked like somebody who hasn't seen the sun since like 2012. And it was just dude, it is not that bad in reality, but it looked that bad. And I was like, oh no. So if we can fix that, if we can change that, that'd be ideal. But if we can't, just know it's not that bad in person. Yeah. Okay? It's really not.
He is pale, but not that pale.
And I've been actually seeing the sun a little bit the last month or so, a little bit more than normal.
Sure.
Hey, the sun's out and shining right now in the PNW, and as a result, everything is blooming. And as a result, I might be a little sniffly and a little sneezy, or who knows? We'll see. It's interesting having a really high quality mic in your face when you're experiencing tons of congestion and weird allergy feelings. It's not really comfortable, but hey,
we'll see how it goes.
Did some Flonase, trying to kick this thing's butt. We'll see if it works.
Yeah. And on my end, my neck is very messed up always, but especially the last few days. So I'm going to be like trying even more. If you're watching the video and you see me like fiddling with my neck a lot, that's why.
We're in pain,
I'm
friends.
being awkward. Yeah, we're just complaining. This is the complaining episode.
But we should say what this episode is.
Yeah, I was going to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're getting better.
So we've had a lot of our episodes so far have been like very informative and maybe more serious. So we're like, okay, let's do something more lighthearted. So we're just going to have fun today and talk about movies and TV shows. Specifically, we tried to come up with our top 3 movies and TV shows, like each of us, and we haven't told each other what they are.
Although you're going to know all of mine, but still.
So you'll probably know mine too. Cool. I mean, we know each other well, so it won't be like a shock, but yeah, we don't really know where this is going to go, but just thought it'd be fun to talk about and maybe fun to listen.
Yeah, a little lighthearted conversation after some more more heavy conversations of late. Mm-hmm. And back in last episode, at the very end of it, Kelsey and I, we sort of had a little bit.
I totally forgot I wanted to like talk to you about this before.
What? Oh, what we were going to say here?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
and I haven't even thought about it.
I was going to wing it.
Okay.
I was basically just going to suggest, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that at the very end of last episode, you and I got in a little bit, not like an argument, but we had a little bit of a disagreement, and you were sort of uncomfortable with my verbiage and wordage for some of the sentences I was saying about my strategies for how to look at gratitude and be grateful. And I don't think I communicated my point clearly after talking with you about it, because my point was more so that we are now more than ever just in a place where entertainment and things that enhance our lives are more available than they ever have been. And that was really all I was trying to suggest, is that, hundreds of billions or so, I believe it's actually around that, of humans have existed throughout time. And we, at this moment, happen to be alive. And compared to everybody in our past, everyone who's ever existed, we have more access to so many things that would be considered huge privileges compared to anybody in the past. And my point was more just like to sort of step back and look at how freaking cool that is. And me personally doing that can be really helpful for me in remembering how to express gratitude and how many little things in life I take for granted. And I think I sort of messed up in how I communicated that. We got more focused on like clean water and shelter than we did on just the overall concept, which is sort of what I was trying to lean towards.
I think your point got a little bit lost, and we just want to be sensitive to like not speaking to everyone to how they should feel, and like this is a reminder that these are things that work for us, like individually, for you.
Right.
We don't want to assume that, you know, we're coming from like a privileged position as well when we're talking about a lot of this stuff. Like we have access, we can pay for therapy, like we have access to a nice home, and we don't have to worry about access to food and things like that. And there may be people that are listening that are, and we don't want to like assume where anybody is at in their life. That's like where the concern was coming from for me. I was like, I don't want to make like blanket statements when we really don't know like who could be listening to this and make anyone feel like bad.
And I just wanted to clarify my main point, or my main point in the somewhat dispute we had, which was that was the main point. Anyway, we're not going to dive back into last episode, but I just wanted to sort of clarify that. Yeah. Let's do our little check-in.
Yeah, I have way less to talk about here. Jake's been all over the place and will continue to be all over the place in the month of May. Woo. I have been here doing hiking, lots of yard work, normal podcast work.
Stuff. Like everything that y'all see or hear podcast-wise, like Kelsey is the one doing it. Mm-hmm. You're editing, you're making the videos, and like you originally thought this was all going to be super easy, and it's turned into a little bit more time consuming than we'd like.
Just a bit.
But it's all you. So thank you.
You're welcome.
That is part of what you were doing while I was out and about.
I haven't done anything like super exciting or different, or I don't know. I don't know that I have anything really to talk about. I guess the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights, were like the most exciting thing that's happened lately. That was 2 nights ago. So it's Sunday now, and it was Friday that it happened. And it was really cool. I know a lot of y'all listening probably saw it, depending on where you're at. It was a surprise too.
Like,
I had no clue.
Kelsey usually would be the person to tell me these kind of things, and I like casually a few hours before it was like, hey, so do you hear that we might see the Northern Lights tonight? She was just like, wait, what? You were so surprised. And
I was so confused. I was like, what are you talking about? I have not heard anything about this. Apparently I had not been on like TikTok or Instagram or social media that day, because I'm sure I would have seen something, but I had very low hopes that it was actually going to happen. And then I peeked outside at like 10:45 or something, and I was like, wait, I think I see it. And then we went out, and I was like, for sure. I mean, it's not, as anyone that did see it like in the lower 48 probably, you know, it's not anything like what your phone and your camera is picking up, but it still was so like just wild to see it from our own backyard.
And it changes. I think that was the coolest part, is it's like constantly moving, and it will get brighter and then darker, and you'll see streaks in different places. So that was my favorite part about it. And the camera thing's crazy. Like we can see it with our eyes, but then we take a picture and the colors and everything are so much more extreme and ridiculous than we can actually see, which make, for people who didn't get to see it and they just see photos of it, it makes it look ridiculous.
Yeah, you're like, how could this guy look like that? And it's like, well, it doesn't.
Yeah, in reality, it doesn't.
Except
really.
I think if you are seeing them in the winter in like Alaska or Norway or Iceland or something, it is like way more vibrant than what we saw.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
Seeing it just makes me want to like go and do that way more. I'm like, oh wait, I want to see them like for real now.
For me, I'm like, bucket list check, Kelsey. You're like, okay, now we got to actually do this.
No, like it's so different. You see the videos of it like what you see with your eyes, and
Yeah.
it's like moving like a movie across the sky. And that's just looks so cool.
We'll add it to our list. We'll make it happen.
It's on. I'm not adding it. It's been there.
All right. Well, it's now on my list.
Yeah. So tell us maybe like.
I
You want to
can
run through a few highlights of?
Well, I can do it quickly. Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
going to tell you day by day
No.
what I did. But
Yeah, just like some
between
notable things.
between the last podcast being recorded and today being recorded, I did part 1 of 2 parts of the baseball trip that I'm doing with my dad. I'm not sure. I don't think we've mentioned this yet on the podcast. The idea that my dad and I are going and seeing all 30 baseball stadiums together, which is really cool and like a really awesome bucket list thing that I'm going to always be proud of and look back on and just be like, the fact that I got to do this with my dad, so cool. And if we ever have kids and they're at all into baseball, I know that will be a goal for me. It's like, I've got to repeat what I
That's
did
cute.
with my dad, with my
Aw.
kid.
Aw.
If it happens, we'll see. But
Yeah.
we've been doing this since about 10 years ago. And it's not necessarily a luxurious concept. We're usually in and out of places within 24 hours, flying everywhere, quick hotel trips. Like, it's not relaxing, but it's really cool to do all of this with my dad. So we went to LA, which was a unique situation because we spent 3 nights in a hotel, which never happens. We got to be in LA for 3 nights. We did Angel Stadium, day off, Dodger Stadium. And in the day off, I did Disney for 14 freaking hours, which was a highlight.
The whole time you were there, I was like, how is he still there? I would not be.
I'm a ride guy. I really enjoy thrills and rides and always have, probably always will. So just knowing there's a ride I haven't been on yet, that excitement can keep me at a park and can keep me waiting in a line. Knowing whatever that ride might do, I haven't experienced and I want to. It's enough for me. And the Guardians of the Galaxy like elevator drop ride was probably the favorite ride I've ever been on in my life. I'm not even exaggerating. I like drop feelings so much, and most rides will have 1 or maybe 2 at max. This ride spends a minute and a half just endlessly doing it. Just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
Sounds like literally my nightmare.
The whole time I'm just
Very
smiling
happy I wasn't
and
there.
laughing. Like legitimately
man.
just laughing the entire time. They take pictures of you on your ride and you can go and look at the screen afterwards. I'm just like the most giddy little kid, just with a big grin on my face. It's amazing. That's how I was the whole time. So I did that twice.
And like no fear either. Like
Oh,
there's
no.
no fear in your face.
Pure
You're just
happiness.
like, yeah.
Yeah, that's rides for me. So that's why I was able to spend 14 hours at Disney, which was fun. So we did 2 baseball stadiums. I flew back to the Bay Area, not really back, but I always say home or back like it's where we're based, even though it's just where we were originally based. My mom's 70th birthday party was happening. That was really cool, getting to meet a bunch of my mom's friends, see my mom, see my brother, see my sisters, Christy and Becca. Shout out to them. They're big on the podcast, which made me so happy. They were talking about how they want to submit questions and submit topics, and we're talking all about what they liked about it.
I texted your third sister today. Well, I texted all your sisters today, but
What? Why?
for Mother's Day.
Oh, no, I'm so bad. Oh, no. Happy Mother's Day, everyone, even though you're listening and it's not Mother's Day anymore.
It's okay. But Shelly said that they're enjoying the podcast also. And
good.
she said it feels like her and the boys are getting to know me better, which is sweet.
Aw.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
the
was like,
boys are
"Aw."
listening?
I guess.
I don't believe it. Shelly, we're going to have to check in with that. There's no way they're listening to the full episode.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll question her.
Yeah, okay.
But that party was a bunch of fun. I got to spend a lot of time with Zach, my brother, who I rarely get to spend time with recently, and it always feels good to be with him. Then I went to Arizona for a day to see another stadium, 27 of 30, and then Grayton Casino back in the Bay Area. Long story short, I'm an ambassador for a poker series called the Run Good Poker Series. My friend, his name is Tana, he runs it. And being an ambassador just means going to at least one of the events every year and trying to promote it on social media, just trying to get people to these tournaments. They're always very low buy-ins, very fun social events. I always have a great time there. So spent a lot of time by the pool in the sun, played a lot of poker, hung out with
Spent a
people.
little amount of time by the pool in the sun.
That's true. I spent one day there, and that one day was like a total of an hour, which for me, I was like, oh God, I'm going to get burned. So it felt like a lot. Kelsey would be like, you'd be like, that's nothing.
Yeah, that wouldn't, well, that's not enough to like get any color on your skin.
I'm not trying to get color, although maybe I should after talking about the camera situation. Maybe new goal. Get some color.
Need a tan for the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I got a tan to fight the weird lighting on the podcast. So that's the check-in realistically. I'm flying tomorrow morning. I'm waking up at 3:30 and flying to Atlanta. We're finishing, and I'm so excited about this. My dad and I are finishing our baseball tour.
I know. That's so cool.
It's so exciting.
It makes like me want to have something like that with you. Like a goal, some kind of like
we should create
travel
one.
goal or something.
We should genuinely try to think of it and create one. Like this,
I would love to.
This happened naturally. My dad and I just being big baseball fans. It just started. Like we saw a bunch of stadiums together when I was younger with him, and I don't know, 3, 4, 5, not a bunch, but enough to be like, hey, maybe we should make a baseball trip and we should go see 3 or 4 stadiums. And then we did, and now we're at 8 or 9, and we're like, we should do that again. And now we're at 12, and it's like, well, maybe we should just keep doing this. So it sort of just happened naturally. It wasn't like a goal for a long time. It just became one. But we could probably think of something.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of, I don't know what it would look like a certain number of countries or like, I don't know, continents.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Visit all 7 continents together.
Antarctica is like the only one that I'm trying
to see some penguins.
Really. Yeah, but can't you see them somewhere else?
I want to see some real Antarctic penguins. Bucket list.
I'm like, is there a way to get there that's not on that boat ride that can be just the worst thing ever? I have no idea.
I also do not know.
Because that alone.
There's cruises, I think. No, are there? I don't know. That sounds like a recipe for icebergs, and we know that doesn't end well for cruises.
If anyone has like a suggestion maybe for like a travel related goal that isn't like visit every country in the world, something
reachable,
something like reachable. Well, people have done that, but reachable, but still like a decent goal at the same time.
Where do they submit these ideas? Do they text us? Do they message us?
I like that you say text when like 1% of the people that listen to this have our phone number. In the
form?
Question form thing.
Just
or
submit.
like wherever. I don't know. On Twitch, on Instagram, whatever.
Cool.
There's lots of ways to contact us.
Okay.
That isn't texting us. Also, like, remember that you're on camera this whole time.
Yeah, I'm not showing my naughty places, I don't think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm keeping the shorts tight.
It's bunching up down there.
Oh, it's bunching up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody look. There's nothing happening down there. Now everyone's looking. Oh, well.
Yeah, of course.
Well, now I'm protecting it. Y'all can't see.
It's bunching even more now.
Yeah, but my leg's in the way. I have things that bunch, okay?
Okay.
It's part of being a man. There's things that bunch up down there sometimes. It's all right.
All right.
Anyway, finishing the baseball trip this coming week, Monday, literally tomorrow, Atlanta, next day, Houston, following day, Arlington, and boom, 30 for 30.
Woo.
And we're done.
It's very exciting. I feel like, I don't know, you need to like memorialize it or like celebrate the accomplishment in some way.
I know I want to, and I don't know how. Like, part of me was thinking I should bring a sign and be like, be one of those people holding up a sign that says like, this is the 30th stadium. I don't know what the verbiage would be.
You guys have to get a non-selfie picture at the last place.
I want to get a good picture at all 3 of these next places.
Yeah.
I also just like, I want to cry, but I know I won't. You're at a baseball stadium. There's people everywhere.
Cry.
Yeah, I want to look back and be like,
I've never said that.
That moment that it happened and we both hugged and we cried. And it's like, that's not going to happen. Nothing close. Dad would be like, do you want a hot dog? I'd be like, sure. That will be the moment.
So emotional. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, take more pictures. You're so bad at that.
Yeah.
Coming from your husband of a photographer.
Well, I think that's part of it.
I need to come with you, obviously.
I swear that I used to be better at taking photos. And ever since you became a photographer and are just Miss Photo Queen, it's almost like it's out of my mind now. I'm like, well, that's not my role. She's obviously going to get it done. So
Yeah,
it just
but
like,
when I'm not there, like the number of times that Jake's traveling and I'm like, please send me photos so that I can see and like,
Yeah.
oops, forgot. I'm like, well, you hate me, confirmed.
I just think the habit's gone. It used to be a habit. I used to take photos and now the habit's gone.
It's rude.
Sorry.
It's so rude.
Hey, that was a great check-in. Is there anything else you want to talk about while you were home doing nothing?
Hey, I was busy. I was hanging out with friends. I was hiking.
See, that's what I
I was
meant.
pulling weeds for so very many hours. I was editing photos. I was doing your wall of fame.
Thank you for doing my wall of fame.
I don't know. I spent very, very little time like watching TV or like chilling.
Should we say what my wall of fame is or just whatever?
Meh. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Congrats.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Should we get into...
Yeah, this episode's going to be less than an hour. If it's more than an hour, I'm going to lose my mind. This episode's going to be less than an hour. Also, what time do you have to restart the film?
the film?
Yes. We have to pause the
Like we're
record
fancy.
the camera every 30 minutes because her fancy camera
Well,
can't do recording for more than 30
We
minutes
have
at a time.
a few more minutes.
Okay, so we're not quite there.
Yeah, we can get started. How
All
do
right.
we want to do this? Do we want to go back and forth? Like we each share a favorite movie? Like you say one, I say one, you say one, I say one.
Yes.
Okay.
It's exactly how I want to do it.
Okay.
Well done.
I will go first.
Are we doing
maybe?
3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3?
I didn't do it like that.
So you just group 3 together?
Yeah.
Cool. Whatever.
I don't have. Okay. So this is what I want to say also. I don't have like the favorite one. Like it's not a clear like the
Every time I move my legs, she's looking at me like I just showed my penis to everyone.
Jake.
That's not a swear word. They
I
say
know,
that in
but
school.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, you can't say that word. I can't say
Okay,
penis.
whatever.
I'm going to say penis.
Stop. God. Okay. Now I lost my train of thought. Okay, so this is difficult for me when people are like, "What are your favorite movies? What are your favorite TV shows?" Like that is one of the most difficult questions because I have a lot of shows that I like, a lot of movies that I like, but picking a like the top one is impossible. Even like top 3 feels kind of too much. Like I feel like there's like 20. I don't know.
Well,
So these are just like some of my favorite.
and to piggyback off of that, I wanted to come up with like a list that wasn't all the same genres, but I don't think I'm going to really do that too well. Because I have so many specific kinds of movies and shows I love, but I also have a lot of different genres. Just the plot twisty dramas all end up at the top for me. So it's hard to
Yeah.
break free of that. Anyway,
Okay.
you go with your first one, Kels. Or should we restart the film?
I guess I will now that you keep bringing it up.
Yes, good. Reset.
Okay. I'm actually going to pull up my list because I don't remember.
You remember any of them?
Okay, no, I did. I just didn't know which one I would talk about first. I guess I'll go in order of when they were released
Cool.
because they're pretty, like, obvious. So my first one is The Parent Trap.
Ooh, I knew that about you.
This was definitely, this is like maybe the movie I've watched the most times in my life because it was my absolute like favorite of all time for sure in high school, like when we started dating, and for a while. I don't know, it's just one of those like feel good movies that just gives me like nostalgia, and I still really love. It's not like one of those movies that you liked as a kid and you watch as an adult and you're rolling your eyes like, how could I have liked this?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's genuinely a good movie.
I love
and
that
a
movie.
sweet story. And I remember it like blew my mind that Lindsay Lohan was one person. And it was like the first movie that I had seen where like one actress or actor was playing two different people. And I'm just watching it like looking for the mistakes. Like, how did they do that?
I love that
don't
movie.
know.
Fun fact about that movie, When we first started dating, you told me a fact that I'm still questioning whether it was a fact. You told me you used to watch The Parent Trap once a week. When we first started dating, that's how much you said you used to watch it. And
It was one of very few movies I owned on DVD.
are you sure it wasn't VHS? I swear I remember seeing that thing as like one of those bricks at your house, or maybe it was at my
I might
house.
have had it on both. I don't know.
'Cause
I
those
definitely
stood
had it
out.
on DVD because I would like watch on my laptop.
Yeah, that was
But I don't know.
that's a good movie.
That's-
Feel good
yeah,
movie.
that like maybe my favorite of all time. Not because like the storyline is like super, I don't know, elaborate, but yeah, I just love it. It gives me good vibes.
Good choice. I appreciate that choice.
Thanks.
I'm going with my movie, and I don't know what my order is. I guess I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1.
It doesn't matter.
And they're all the same darn genre. So I'm gonna lead off with that. I am a absolute sucker for good plot twisty movies. Movies that really are making you think and trying to understand what's going on, and movies that have these wow moments that sort of make you change how you look at the entire movie. Big sucker for those. I'm always looking for them. I'm always looking up lists of like top 50 plot twist movies and whatnot. I've just always learned to love those. I don't know when it started, but for as long as I can remember, those movies have attracted me. So my first pick is The Departed. I don't remember enough to like discuss, I guess. I've only seen it twice, but I know.
I mean, I don't think we need to like be like, here's the synopsis.
No, I'm not going to break down. Of course not. But
'cause
I
I didn't.
No, but I want to at least be able to speak a couple sentences about it. It has an incredible cast. Insane cast. Like if you just go and look up cast of The Departed, you're going to be like, what? All of these people are in this movie? Incredible cast. One of the reasons it's great. But just twist after twist and leaving you at the end being like, wait, what? That's what was happening? One of those movies. The Departed, both times I've seen it. Really good. I'm not even sure I've seen it with you.
Really?
So part of me is questioning, like, do we need to make sure to watch this ASAP? I would love to watch it for
I'm
a
sure
third
I've
time.
seen it.
I'm not
I
sure
get
you
like
have.
honestly confused with all these.
You've either seen it 0 or 1 time. So we should look and see
Okay.
if you...
I think I've seen it,
Okay.
but whatever.
All right, let's toss it to your number 2.
Okay. What is it?
You really...
Oh, I remember. Oh, this one was actually hard for me to choose because, well, okay. I've already talked about how it was difficult for me to choose. Whatever. Mean Girls. This is like for a similar reason.
Wait, aren't they making a new one or a remake or something
have.
soon? They already did?
I think they've made like several, but they're all like, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know if I've seen them.
My bad. Get back in your zone. Sorry.
No, this is just another one I think that I love for similar reasons. It's like a movie I've seen a ton of times. There's like random lines from the movie that are like just part of millennial vocabulary, and it's just, it's funny, and I don't know. It's in that era-ish. I guess I don't know what year it was released. I just feel like there's a lot of movies in that time, like Superbad and Mean Girls and I don't know, American Pie, like that era of like just good comedies that were, I don't know, formative's the right word, but like they're just iconic.
I get what you're saying. They shaped some of the humor and some of the terminology that we use and the jokes that everybody made.
Yeah.
Like copying lines from those movies in certain scenarios. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I just love all those. Yeah, I don't know. Mean Girls
Superbad is such a good movie, by the way. Like I'm not going to add it to my list because it's just not the plot twisty kind of movie that I'm going to have on my list. But that movie is so funny. Every time I rewatch even just scenes from that, I'm like, this is hilarious. They did this so well.
We watched like a tiny bit of it in the hotel in Vegas a few weeks ago, but it was on cable, and so they had to like, they didn't bleep it. They just either like replaced it with another word or it just didn't make sound.
Yeah, it was like they just cut out full sentences. It kind of pissed me off.
It was so weird to watch. It was like, it just felt wrong.
And it made me realize how much I know that movie. Because I'm like, I know exactly what they said there. Not
like,
that.
That's not what they said. Yeah. So yeah, Mean Girls.
Good choice.
It's just a girly classic. And
My
another Lindsay Lohan accidentally. Whoops.
I hope your next one is too, and you just didn't realize
No,
it.
it's not.
Darn it. My next movie is Memento. That movie goes hard. I love that movie.
That's okay.
I can tell you
Again, I get things confused.
I can tell you
I'm
enough
thinking-
about it
Yeah.
so that you'll understand it. Memento is, again, another little plot twisty movie where at the end you're just like, oh my God, I kind of need to rewatch it now that I understand what the end is revealing. What's unique about Memento is you're following somebody who has short-term memory loss. And the movie, I'm not revealing anything. The movie
No spoilers.
is actually going the opposite direction of time. Like, it's going backwards. So the first scene, and again, this isn't a spoiler, you will understand this very instantly. The first scene is actually the most recent thing to have happened. And you sort of watch like 5 minutes, and then the next scene is going to be the 5 minutes before that. So at the very end of the next scene, it takes you to the first scene's start. And then same thing. So you're just constantly
It sounds
learning,
annoying, but
it's
like
not.
it's not.
It's not. You're just little by little by little learning more about what led to what first happened, which
Yeah.
is the most recent thing. Like what took place before that. And you're learning little by little. And you're constantly changing opinions on people and situations. And there's a big reveal and it changes how you think. And it's just one of those movies, again, that when it ends, and this is the thing that does it for me for a movie, when it ends and you spend like an hour thinking about all the different things that maybe hinted at it that you didn't pick up on, or all the different things that learning this reveal changes that you're like, whoa, now that makes more sense, or whoa, that is totally different now that I understand this. The movies that do that, or maybe make you research it a little bit and like, what do other people have to say about this? And they reveal things for you hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
I love those movies. And that movie was definitely one of those movies for me.
Yeah. I remember it being good.
It's very good.
Yeah. Okay. My last one. Oh, I don't need to look. I know it.
I was surprised. I was going to say anything. I was like, here she goes again. All right.
It's just instinctual to look. Okay, the Barbie movie.
Okay.
That is my current favorite. I've only watched it twice. I could definitely watch it again, but I just love that movie so much.
That movie is really good.
I don't feel like I need to explain why. It's just like, yeah.
And
I mean, the cast and Greta, the director. Oh gosh, I don't know. Person that wrote the movie with Margot Robbie. They're just amazing, and just writing about the Barbie world, obviously, but like putting it in current times to like make it very relatable, especially for women, like how it feels to be a woman in this world. And then like compounding that with like the fact that I played with Barbies growing up. It was just like, it was emotional. It was hilarious. I love that movie so much.
And it's not just for women, which I think a lot of people were like, Barbie, girls, women. Like, that's a movie that
No,
I would
everyone
recommend
should
everyone
watch
see.
it. Like,
It's just entertaining. It's very entertaining. It's interesting. It's not a movie just for girls. Everybody should see it. I at least think that. I really enjoyed that movie too. I've only
it's
seen it once.
I think it's important for people to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My third, or I guess first, this is my favorite movie. Anybody who's listened to my stream, and I've answered this so many times, but I know you know it. My favorite movie is The Prestige, which same exact genre. I'm not going to go into it. It's got a really good cast, just like The Departed does. And I think more than any other movie, the reason I've always listed it as my favorite movie since I've seen it like 10 years ago for the first time is because I believe it left me in more of a like, oh my God state than any of the other movies I've seen.
It was also one of like the first plot twisty. I feel like that movie started your journey down like the road of plot twisty movies.
Well, I don't know. I believe that I saw Shutter Island before it, which is a great plot twisty movie that I love. I believe I saw Inception before it, which is another great one that I love.
Maybe not. I feel like from my perspective, it felt like you saw that movie and got like hardcore into it.
I think you're kind of right. I think it opened my eyes a little bit to how this is my favorite kind of movie. I know I've seen plot twisty movies before that I loved, but I do think you're right. This kind of opened my eyes to this like, whoa, this is clearly the genre for me. And I've seen so many other movies that are great that I didn't mention. Minority Report's similar. A Secret in Their Eyes is a movie
Yeah,
in Spanish.
I kind of thought that one might be on your
It was
list.
close.
Yeah.
I might. It was. Ask me another day. It might have been in the top
Yeah.
3. A Secret in Their Eyes is one of those less heard of movies that is really good. It's in Spanish, but it's worth it. Of course, it's all you can read. All of it's all got subtitles. So if you like those kind of movies, look up A Secret in Their Eyes because that's definitely my little bonus. And kind of like you were talking about, there's all these movies that bring nostalgia to me that I wanted to put on the list. For example, you put on any of the Harry Potter movies and I'll immediately
Yeah.
just be happy.
Yeah.
So I almost was tempted to throw one of
Same.
those movies on the list just because of that. It just makes me super happy whenever a Harry Potter's on. So
Yeah.
part of me wanted to, but I went with my 3 hardcore plot twisties.
Were there any that you were surprised that were on my list or that weren't on my list?
No.
Okay.
I knew Parent Trap was going to be on there. I didn't really think much about what else you might throw on there.
Yeah. No, that's right. That's fair. Okay, TV shows.
TV shows. I'll go first this time.
This one was like even weirder for me because I don't really rewatch TV shows hardly ever.
Yeah, this one was tough for me too because I have a lot of TV shows I really love. And I'm worried that, and this sounds bad, like I don't want to.
worried.
Well, I'm worried that I'm forgetting some.
Oh,
like seriously,
yeah.
I feel like in
Well,
the last 5 to
This
10
isn't
years.
that serious.
No, but still, it's like we were talking about this last night. I wish that I had started a list younger of like movies and shows I love because that'd be so cool to return to and be like, oh my god, I forgot about that show. Or, oh my god, I forgot about that movie. And I guess I could start it now, similar to how I started a daily journal, and I always was like, I wish I had started that earlier, and then I just started it.
Yeah.
I could just do that now with movies and shows, but I just feel like I probably have forgotten. Excuse me, I had to burp. I've probably forgotten quite a few. Anyway, for this one, it was difficult because I have so many dramas that I love. I feel like for TV, things like Lost and Dexter, they come to mind. Although Lost, God, that got weird. But the first few episodes, they come
first
to
few episodes.
first few seasons. Thank you for catching that. That's where my brain goes for TV shows is like the dramas that go for 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons that you can really latch into, know the characters, know the story, have really intense things happening that you get really stuck watching and just can't not watch the next episode. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to give a little bit more diversity here. So I actually chose 3 that are pretty different.
Okay.
First one, it used to be Dexter, by the way, but I'm actually leaning more towards Breaking Bad being better. So my first one I'm choosing is one that everyone's heard of, is Breaking Bad. Love it. I love the spinoff afterwards of Better Call Saul. I almost want to link those two. I'd say they almost are equally good. If you haven't watched Better Call Saul,
Did that
and
show like
it just ended.
end?
Yeah, we just saw
Like
the
the
final
show's
season.
over. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
we just saw it together.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Better Call Saul and you like Breaking Bad, watch Better Call Saul. The two are very similar. Better Call
I
Saul.
didn't like Better Call Saul quite as much, I will say.
Okay.
It's still good, but
I loved it. And it follows Saul Goodman, the lawyer from Breaking Bad. But it's all about what happened leading up to Breaking Bad. And what was exciting about it that I didn't expect is it actually, the last season follows what happened after Breaking Bad. Mm-hmm. What's going on with Saul after everything went down. So I didn't expect that and really liked that. But Breaking Bad's a classic at this point. The cast is great. The acting is great. The story is great. It's really easy to get stuck in it and just want to keep watching it. And I've watched it 3 times now. The